Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, the Deputy Prime Minister says he is focused on the Bahamian people. Why the Minister of Tourism says he's concerned about a travel warning. Plus, why fish fry vendors say they are not off the hook yet on the road to economic recovery. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest breaking his silence today amid calls for his resignation over allegations he was involved in a matter that led to two companies being defrauded over $20 million. Turnquest telling reporters today that his work in public life speaks for itself. Arawak Key reports.
Now, at first, the DPM was not too keen on talking, but eventually, after repeated questions from reporters, he stopped to defend his character and his work.
Good to see all of you all. God bless you.
What do you think about calls to your resignation? While he did not have much to say in the beginning, Turnquest eventually stopped and told reporters he remains focused on his role as Minister of Finance and that any allegations made against him should be left to be worked out in the courtroom, despite growing calls for his resignation.
We'll see what happens, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm focused on the work of the Bahamian people.
In a statement of claim, the two companies alleged that Randy Butler, Sky Bahamas Airlines Limited, and Aviation Oversight Group Limited, together with Turnquest, conspired wrongfully and with intent to injure those companies and or to cause loss to them by unlawful means or to enrich themselves. When asked about how this sort of allegation looks on the Minister of Finance and whether it affects the work being done in his ministry, Turnquest replied,
I think you guys have known me for at least 8 years now, most of you. And I think that you know that I'm focused on what I do. I'm very disciplined about what I do. The matters that are circulating out there are unfortunate. They will be dealt with in the due course of time.
In the meantime, calls from members of the opposition, including former State Minister for Legal Affairs Damian Gomez, continue to grow for Turnquest to step down from his cabinet post until the matter is settled. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has said the matter is before cabinet, and once complete, the public will hear of the outcome. But Turnquest continued explaining that he has a job to do in continuing to help the country make it through the COVID-19 crisis.
But, again, I'm focused on working for the Bahamian people while I have the opportunity to do so. And I'll do my best to ensure that we get through this crisis.
For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, two police officers and a suspect were shot during a police-involved shooting on Abaco. According to police, officers responded to a domestic dispute in Pelican Shores Marsh Harbor when a man believed to be involved in the dispute opened fire on them. One officer was shot in the face and stomach. The second officer was shot in the stomach. Authorities say the injured officers drove themselves to the clinic and were treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was also treated for his injuries at the clinic. Investigations continue. Well, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently issuing a warning for all travelers to avoid travel to the Bahamas, citing what it called very high levels of COVID-19 in the Bahamas. With the country's two major resorts, Baha Mar and Atlantis, both set to begin their phased reopening in just 2 weeks, Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguilar says there is a concern.
And once again, this is a question of timing. At the end of October, we were not doing terribly well. Here we are a month later, we're much better. So we're hoping that the Americans see fit to do a reassessment as they see our numbers improve and see fit to change that rating.
The U.S. Embassy in Nassau also issuing an updated travel advisory yesterday, lowering the Bahamas from a level 4 country, which means do not travel, to a level 3, which means reconsider travel. De Aguilar says he finds it quite ironic that the U.S. would continue to issue such statements on the Bahamas, given the record numbers of COVID-19 cases currently being experienced in that country.
The level of COVID, the death rate, the positivity rate in the Bahamas is half that in the United States. So it's much better here than there. However, they will always respond. You can issue travel advisories, we can issue travel advisories. So there's no point in fighting that. We just have to improve and continue to improve our numbers and ensure that we keep our numbers respectable so they then see fit to change that rating.
In other news, former House Speaker and Deputy Governor General Oswald Ingraham has died. Ingraham, a Tarpon Bay native, served as the Member of Parliament for South Eleuthera from 2002 to 2012. He served as House Speaker from 2002 to 2007 during the first Christie administration and as Deputy Governor General between 2012 and 2017. Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis says his good friend and former parliamentary colleague was fair in his rulings as House Speaker and always protected the rights of the opposition. Davis says Ingraham lived a full life and made his contributions to the Bahamas in both the private and public sectors. And a woman is free after waiting for more than 11 years for a murder trial. As Jared Higgs tells us, her situation represents a long-standing issue facing the court system.
More than 11 years ago, a terrified 20-year-old Janera Mackenzie, seen in the blue, was charged with the murder of Bahamas Air pilot Lionel McQueen.
You know what it is to be standing over your mother in handcuffs?
According to the Tribune, 29-year-old McQueen was found shot to death in his Golden Palms Estates home at 4 a.m. on Sunday, September 20th, 2009. McQueen's cousin, Montez Saunders, was also injured during the shooting. Detectives ultimately charged Mackenzie and two others in connection with the incident, and she was jailed for 3 years awaiting trial.
It was not easy at times. There was depression, there was anxiety, there was worries, what is going to happen. I would always think about things.
Mackenzie was granted bail in 2012, but over the next 8 years, the courts would fail to try her, despite no fewer than 8 dates being set for the matter to be heard. The long wait made the wife and mother of 3 fearful of what her fate may be.
It wasn't easy for my husband. My children are still young, but they don't know. But it wasn't easy for me because you have that doubt in the back of your mind. How are children gonna feel knowing that their mother is, might be put away for, a very long time.
But Mackenzie breathed a sigh of relief on Monday as prosecutors lost their last shot to try her. The Court of Appeal previously ruled that if her trial didn't get started on Monday, her constitutional right to a trial in a reasonable time would be violated. Her matter has been stayed, and the woman says she's grateful, especially to her lawyer.
I love her. I never tell her that before, but I tell her that now that I love her.
That vexing issue is the notorious backlog of Supreme Court cases. The woman's attorney, Christina Galano, says trial delays brought on by the coronavirus pandemic will only make things worse.
This person has approached me and said they've been on bail, very serious matter, for 16 years, signing in, no court date, no nothing from the Crown, nothing.
In those 11 years awaiting trial, Mackenzie says she got married and found religion. She says now that she's free, she can build her dream home and start a business. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Thanks, Jared. Well, we saw some rain in the capital today. Here's Greg Thompson in the weather studio.
Thanks, Christina. I'm meteorologist Greg Thompson with your first look at weather. Outside our studios, breezy conditions under partly cloudy skies. A couple of light sprinkles out there. Temperatures are in the upper 70s, 78 degrees is our current temperature. Winds are out of the northeast at 13 knots. Satellite view around the area, we have a weak frontal boundary that pushed through the capital earlier today, now washing itself out. Strong high pressure behind that system will be producing the strong winds that you're experiencing outside. That will continue tonight through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, Arawak Key vendors face hurdles impacting their bottom line, and how to whip up a Thanksgiving feast on a budget. Stay with us.
Just when you thought the year would end drear, Rev came through with Magic and Holiday Cheer. Our cashback will double, making more spirits rise, with chances to spin and with a dope random prize. The rules are quite simple. You can find them online. Just sign up for Trio and pay your Rev bill on time. Our grocery store dash is sure to bring smiles as 16 lucky winners tear through the aisles. Call 601-8992 or visit rev.vs/promotions to find out how you can win with Rev's Field of Magic giveaway. Rev, you and us, together.
The government is reportedly mulling over what citizenship by investment could look like in the Bahamas, according to Immigration Minister Ellsworth Johnson. The program is practiced by a few countries around the world where high net worth individuals in developing nations look to add a second passport in their investment portfolio.
That is still under, some persons of some countries when we do our comparative analysis of had a bad experience from it. It is something that we are looking at. No decisions are being made. And so right now I'm not unable to speak directly to it. But I can tell you, there are any number of conglomerates or companies or persons even within the Bahamas who have been making the approaches to the ministry saying, listen, can we have a discussion on this?
Johnson says while no decision has been made, there is increased demand for not just Bahamian citizenship, but permanent residency.
One of the things we must appreciate as the Bahamians is our locality. Stable judiciary, stable country, friendly people in terms of the persons wanting to move away from big countries and go into the family islands. We present that and they want that. But we have to get the best bang for the buck and create a symbiotic relationship where we are benefiting just as much as the people who are coming here to the Bahamas.
Well, vendors at Arawak Key have been given the green light to reopen, but business owners say several hurdles are hindering their ability to make money. Giorgio Bain reports.
Business has been slow to return to the once bustling tourist hotspot here at Arawak Key. But according to some stall owners, a closed gate and early curfew times are not playing into growing business numbers.
When the people start to come out, it's the police is harassing them and running them off the key out of your businesses. I understand that the curfew through the week is 9 o'clock. The police is coming and saying 8 o'clock you should close your business. On Sundays, business is supposed to be closed by 6 o'clock, or at least you should be home by 6. But the police is coming like 4 o'clock, 4:30.
Vice President of the Arawak Key Association and the owner of Candy's Restaurant and Bar, Lillian Smith, says Sundays were their busiest day until police started shutting down businesses well ahead of curfew.
Before we had about 13 persons open. On Sunday past, we had 9. And so I know the numbers are going to decrease.
Another concern, she said, is the closure of the Western Gate, which has been a huge deterrent to customers. Tables that would usually be packed with a busy lunchtime crowd at Legacy Deck were empty today. And according to Ronnie Clark, confusion over curbside services and indoor regulations are to blame.
Unfortunately, because fish fry was always a hangout, a lot of persons, because we were on curbside, they probably still feel like we still are on curbside, even though we can do the outdoor dining now.
We put vendors' concern to Chief Superintendent Christopher Wright, in charge of the Northwestern Division. He says the directives came from the Commissioner of Police and officers are just following the law.
I don't know what the complaints are all about, but we are only abiding by what the law says and the emergency orders. But I will speak to them and hear what they have to say and deal with it and address it.
Reporting for our News, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Thanks, Giorgio. We've got a lot more news, but first, here's your RF Market Watch.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Still to come, a furloughed Bahamar worker uses her free time giving back. The details when our news returns.
Just when you thought the year would end dry, Rev came through with Magic and Holiday Chair. Our cashback will double, making more spirits rise, with chances to spin and with a dope random prize. The rules are quite simple. You can find them online. Just sign up for Trio and pay your Rev bill on time. Our grocery store dash is sure to bring smiles as 16 lucky winners tear through the aisles. Call 601-8992 or visit rev.vs/promotions to find out how you can win with Rev's Field of Magic giveaway. Rev, you and us, together.
This is our news. Welcome back. Thousands of hotel workers have found themselves out of work during the pandemic. One Bahamar worker says she has been able to cope by helping others. Jasmine Brown has her inspiring story.
For For the last 2 months, 31-year-old Marissa Rocks has spent her weekdays volunteering at Lend a Hand Bahamas.
I'm used to volunteering, so it's nothing for me, and then I'm at home with nothing to do, so I might as well put myself to good use.
Rocks and more than a dozen other hard-working volunteers spend hours packing bags filled with non-perishable food that are handed out to the less fortunate. Like thousands of others, Rocks, a Bahamar employee, was furloughed earlier this year when the resort shut its doors in response to rising COVID cases in the Bahamas and the slowdown of tourism across the globe. The mother of two, who has had to resort to collecting assistance from the National Insurance Board, said while she misses her job, she's doing what she can to stay busy and is trying to remain encouraged.
Lord knows I miss my job, but there's nothing like it takes my mind off of everything else. Everything that is at home, that's going on at home, with the bills. Now I can come here and just get lost in the bags, just help pack, field with calls all day, listen to other people's, help them. So if I could feel like I could help someone else, then I feel like my problems are minuscule.
Lend a Hand Bahamas has been helping with food assistance on New Providence throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. With Bahamar preparing to begin a phased reopening on December 17th, Rocks said she is anxious to get back to work. But she said she'll continue to volunteer her time at Lend a Hand Bahamas. She added others like her need to stay positive despite the difficulties they face.
I pray, and every time I go to God, He answers me. And now I am at a point where I haven't collected NIB for some 4 weeks. So I have no income coming in. I have 2 children in virtual learning, but I'm still making a way for me, them. And then I have a husband who just went back to work. He works in construction. So all I could tell people is stay encouraged.
Now, Rock says one of the most rewarding parts of volunteering is being able to work with others who also want to help those in need. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, during these tough times, a local company is hoping families that have the ability will bless a family in need this Thanksgiving. Tonight, Kyle Joaquin threw on an apron at Showman Bistro to learn how to make Thanksgiving on a budget.
Yeah, there you go. It's a big Thanksgiving meal, but on a budget. The folks at Showman Bistro led our news in the kitchen, where we, with the help of Chef Ravel, threw down cooking a whole chicken, peas and rice, candied yams, cornbread, and of course, stuffing. First step, seasoning our chicken, then getting that bad boy in the oven.
Water with that. You gotta get all that in now.
Like a little baby. Once in the oven, we got to our peas and rice, starting with our herbs, tomato paste, and eventually the rice. But not to be forgotten, the stuffing.
Just taste the water. See if it's seasoned enough.
I gotta taste it?
Taste it, dog. You gotta taste how good it goes. What do you need?
Salt. And this is peas and rice. Tomato paste peas and rice.
Okay.
You put all of it?
No.
The candied yams only required some butter and brown sugar, and my favorite part of the meal, cornbread, as well as the veggies, which didn't take much time. So candied yam, really just brown sugar?
Brown sugar, cinnamon, potato, sweet potato.
But I shouldn't mash it up.
Just, don't mash it up.
Just mix it.
Because you want them to stay nice and whole.
All right, cool. This took all of 5 minutes. And after an hour and 15 minutes, our bird was ready. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. You got an angel singing? Before we knew it, everything was done and it was time to plate and bring the meal to life.
Ooh. So we got some sexy marshmallows.
Yeah, boy. Last but not least, my homemade cornbread. In the spirit of giving, Showman has prepackaged the meal full with ingredients and instructions for $40. They're hoping many who can't afford it will bless a family in need. Reporting from somewhere in the kitchen prepping for Thanksgiving for Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin. Cheers.
Cheers.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Kyle, you made that? In sports tonight, the local basketball president feeling confident. Marcellus Hall tells us why.
Thanks, Christina. Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Well, as you know, sports in general are facing a lot of different obstacles when it comes to moving forward in the face of COVID-19 and all the different protocols in place. Our men's national basketball team face much the same as they get ready for competition in Indy this week. Meanwhile, the president of the Bahamas Basketball Federation, Mario Boleg, still feels confident that the team can not only win some games, but move forward towards qualifying for big tournaments. With the Bahamas men's national basketball team now selected and ready for competition, Bahamas Basketball Federation president, appearing on the most recent edition of The Locker Room this past Friday, talked about the road ahead.
We believe our chances as the Bahamas is just as great in the Americas. We believe that the two teams that we have most difficulty with is Canada, United States, maybe Argentina, Brazil. But, you know, when you look at the 7 nations, we believe that we could be in that top 7. And this is one of the first steps for us. We are second place in Pool D right now with United States, Puerto Rico, and Mexico. We go on to this trip and we play United States on the 29th, and then we play Puerto Rico on the 30th. We're hoping to come up with a victory with at least one of those games. If 2, it'll be good. But then we move on to February, and hopefully we'll play in a bubble, as we will be playing this next week. We'll play in a bubble in the Bahamas in February in our home game, United States, Puerto Rico.
To the NFL, where Week 11 of the NFL season wrapped up last night with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the LA Rams. Rams on the board first, Jared Goff connecting with Robert Woods for the touchdown from 4 yards out. Second quarter, Bucs getting it going. Mike Evans shedding would-be tacklers, fights his way into the end zone to tie things up at 7. That'll be followed by a Leonard Fournette rushing touchdown as he powers in from 2 yards out. Still in the first half, Goff finding Van Jefferson in the end zone. Bucs still leading 17-14 at the half. Third quarter, Goff, Cam Akers. That puts the Ram up by 7. Bucs would tie it on a touchdown pass from Brady as he finds Chris Godwin in the end zone. But Matt Gay's 40-yard field goal, that seals the deal. Rams hold on for the win, 27-24. And that's a check on sports for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Marcellus. Is there more rain ahead this week? An extended look at weather is coming up when our news returns.
Just when you thought the year would end drought, Rev came through with Magic and Holiday Cheer. Our cashback will double, making more spirits rise, with chances to spin and with a dope random prize. The rules are quite simple. You can find them online. Just sign up for Trio and pay your Rev bill on time. Our grocery store dash is sure to bring smiles as 16 lucky winners tear through the aisles. Call 601-8992 or visit rev.vs/promotions to find out how you can win with Rev's Field of Magic giveaway. Rev, you and us, together.
Welcome back to our news. How's the weather looking for the rest of the week? Here's Greg Thompson with the forecast. Greg?
Thanks again, Christina. In our second look at weather, we take a look at our satellite view around the area. Weak frontal boundary pushing through the capital earlier today. Very, very light showers across our area. Surface trough to the southeast of us pulling away from us. Low pressure system in the Atlantic, the National Hurricane Center actually still giving that a low chance for formation. High pressure behind that will be bringing strong winds for us over the next couple of days. Your boating forecast for all areas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the northeast to east at 15 to 25 knots, so an advisory posted for you guys. Seas running 5 to 8 feet. Tide is presently high, will be low at 9:59 tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. Now look at your extended forecast through Sunday. That's a look at our weather. Have a safe night, everyone.
Thanks, Greg. Ready, set, dash. Rev and Solomon's launched their Mega Dash $250,000 cashback this week, sending contestants speeding through the aisles at Solomon's Supercenter Yamacraw. Host Anthony A.C. Coakley says he didn't know turkeys could fly until the Mega Grocery Dash.
4 Rev lucky subscribers who either switched to Trio, paid their bill in full, or upgraded to Trio got the opportunity to dash through the aisles of this Solomon's location and for 2 minutes grab everything they could get in their trolleys, and it was an epic, awesome experience.
AC says contestants came in with their strategies, but they left with a greater sense of Thanksgiving.
When they ran through the aisles, I'm sure those 4 persons were not just thinking of themselves, they were thinking of the other family members and friends that they could help out who don't have the means anymore because of the loss of jobs that we've experienced on such a mass number in our community and, of course, worldwide.
Well, that does it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us for our news. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.